Hello my friends, this is Dwight from Forest Glory 700 coming back at you with another video. The date today is Saturday, September the 26th, and the time now is approximately 2:30 in the afternoon. The reason why I've given you that date and that time is I'm 3.5 hours away from completing a 24-hour 14-day fast, which means I have not consumed any food for the past 14 days. The only thing that I've had was water. Sometimes a little lemon in the water just to add a little taste, but that's all I've had for the past two weeks. Now, the reason why I did this food fast was I just wanted to test my body just to see how much it could endure for a 2-week period. Beginning with the fast, the first 3 days I did not drink any water whatsoever. So for the first 72 hours from the time I started the fast, which was September the 12th at 6 p.m. in the evening, to the Tuesday, which would be 3 days later, at approximately the same time, I did not consume any water. I did that by choice, just again because I wanted to challenge my body. I wanted to see how much my body could withstand, just withstand the not having food or water. And it went without a hitch, for the most part. I was tempted to do 4 days straight without consuming any water during that fast. And I thought, okay, maybe that might be a bit too much. So I decided just to, leave it alone. I had intended to do every 3 days after that, but I kind of thought, what, this is the first time I'm doing a 2-week food fast. So I figured, what, let's not push it. So the first 3 days I did not drink or consume any liquids whatsoever. And then after that I did have water periodically throughout the day, leading up to the 14th day, which I'm now upon. The first week was probably the most difficult of the 2-week fast, simply because I was hungry, but I found that after the first week, it's almost like my body became conditioned to the idea that it wasn't going to be receiving any food. So I was actually okay. Going into the second week, I was okay. The only thing I would say going into the second week, I have a public sector job where I drive a public transportation vehicle, and I work from about 8 in the evening until about 3 in the morning. And I found that during the second week of my food fast, that during the middle of the night, somewhere along those lines, I'd find that my breathing was somewhat labored, meaning that every now and again I'd have to take sort of a deep breath like that because I felt like I had shortness of breath, for lack of a better word. But outside of driving the vehicle at work, I was actually okay. I went home, I slept, I drank some water. I probably didn't drink as much as I should have, but it was just I didn't feel that thirsty to begin with, even though I knew I should have been drinking a lot more water. I didn't. I just drank as needed, or sometimes I just forced myself to drink. And as it related to going to the washroom, I was urinating like I've always did, several times a day. In terms of number 2, I think I went about two or three times, maybe 4 at the most during that 2-week period. So there wasn't much going on there. And that's about it regarding that. In terms of my cognitive ability, I think I felt very alert. My energy levels were pretty good. I did play some physical activities with my daughter, especially during the second week. I did walk from my workplace to the vehicle that I was supposed to take over from the other operator. And that was like a 20-minute walk, 30-minute walk, which I did about 3 or 4 times, maybe 5 or 6 times during that 2-week board period or 2-week work period. So there wasn't too much of an issue there. I was tempted to do an additional day, meaning finishing this food fast on Sunday, September 27th at 6 p.m., which would make it 15 full days since I've last eaten or consumed any food whatsoever. But I decided, you know what, my goal was 2 weeks and I'm going to keep to that. The reason why I was thinking I'd like to add an additional day to my fast was simply because my previous best food fast was 5 days or 120 hours. If I were to do an extra 24-hour fast, I'd actually complete 360 hours. So that was more of maybe a vanity thing, just to say I've tripled my previous fast. But my goal was 2 weeks, and I've met that 2-week goal. From the previous video, I had mentioned I was weighing, I made an error in the previous video in terms of my weight, but it was actually 159.5 pounds. Yeah, 159.5 pounds that I weighed myself prior to the recording. And then after I ate just before that recording. My weight went up to, no, it was 158 pounds, sorry, 158.5 pounds. And then I consumed a lot of food because I knew I wasn't going to be eating for the next 2 weeks. And I went from 158.5 pounds to 161 pounds. Now, 2 weeks later, almost exactly in another 2 hours and 35 minutes, which I still have to complete, my current weight, this is as of yesterday, Friday, September the 25th at approximately about 4 in the afternoon. I went on the scale, right down to the bare minimum, my underwear, I was weighing 140.5 pounds. So basically I've lost just under 20 pounds. Let's say between 18 to 19 and a half pounds I've lost in the past 2 weeks. I'd contribute about at least 50% of that, if not 60%, so somewhere between 50 to 60% of that being water, and the other maybe 40 to 45% being actual body fat. I've lost quite a bit of weight. I haven't been this light, or I haven't weighed roughly 140 pounds since I was in junior high. I remember when I was in grade 8, I was around 135 pounds, going into grade 9, probably around 140. So I haven't been 140 pounds in roughly over 30 years, 35 years. It's been a long time since I've been that weight. How do I feel overall? I feel pretty good, actually. I mean, to be honest with you, if I was a betting man or someone were to wage a bet that I couldn't go another week, I'm pretty confident I'd actually be able to carry over an extra week. Right now, I'm in cottage country. That's why I tried to get the lake in the background. I'm on vacation with my wife and my daughter, and I think we're in Algonquin Park. Are we in Algonquin Park? No response from the wifey. Well, anyways, it was about a 3-hour drive from Markham or Toronto, so I'm going to say we're in Algonquin Park because I saw a sign saying about we're entering or we're going towards Algonquin Park in Ontario. So that's where I'm at right now. Looking forward to completing this fast. I'm very happy that I was able to do it. It's amazing what our bodies can accomplish under duress or stress. Again, there's really wasn't any purpose for me doing this fast other than just testing the boundaries and seeing how far I could go with this. Is there anything else I've forgotten to mention? I'm tempted to take off my shirt, but there's no need for that really. I'm pretty lean, feel pretty good. I'm going to break my fast with having soup. They usually say if you've had an extended fast like I have, that you should ease into it versus just eating 10 pounds of food. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that. Now, I'm Jamaican, so with the food that, the soup I made it a couple weeks ago, but I froze it because I knew I was going to have it once I completed this 2-week fast. And with West Indian people, generally speaking, in our soups, we have dumpling, which is this dough, breaded, it's like a dough that you would boil in soup or water, and potatoes and yellow yam, and I have some chicken wings in there. So technically I shouldn't eat or consume any of those things. I should just have the broth or the soup itself, the liquid. So I'm going to attempt to do that, but I'll be totally honest with you, I'm pretty confident I'm going to be eating the whole thing. Now that's not what we're technically supposed to do according to what I've observed and viewed on by other YouTubers and other individuals. I assume some may be experts, others maybe not, that have said that it's probably best that when you're breaking an extended fast to ease into it. So I'm saying to you that that's what I should do. The probability is that probably once I start having that soup, I'm going to consume the whole thing. Anyways, I'm trying to think, is there anything else I need to mention regarding this fast? Well, oh yeah, the other thing I guess too is that once you've been able to accomplish something like this, not eating for 2 weeks, it actually motivates you and it encourages you to realize that there's a lot. If you're successful sort of in doing this, it means that you can transfer it to, let's say, possibly other areas of your life that you may be having challenges in. And the nice thing about doing this 2-week food fast is I can do it as often as I want to in the future if I so decide. Or if I want to extend it beyond a 2-week fast, I can do that as well. So, I think it's very empowering when you're able to restrain yourself from what our basic biology wants to do all the time, which is to drink and to eat and to consume food. That's what we crave. That's what all things in the natural order want, is the ability to eat and to drink freely whenever and as often as we want. So it's nice to be able to have some restraint and to challenge yourself both physically, mentally, and spiritually. So I hope I haven't forgotten to mention anything. I think that's about it, So 2-week food fast is coming to a conclusion in about 2 hours and in about another 3 hours and 17 minutes. So it's a no-brainer for me now. So obviously I'm not going to abandon my fast in 3 hours short of that time. So anyways, this is Dwight from For His Glory 700. Well, wait a second. I forgot to also mention that I'm in relatively good health as far as I can tell. So going into this 2-week food fast was something I didn't necessarily feel I needed to get medical attention or advice from a doctor. Now, for anyone else that may have, let's say, underlying pre-existing medical conditions where going on an extended fast might somehow be counterintuitive to your overall health, I would strongly suggest that you obviously speak to your family physician or practitioner to let them know if this would be something that would be feasible for you to